name is Ali Stofko. I am half black, pronouns are she, her, and I have lived in Dallas my whole life. And really recently, in the last 3 to 5 years, I've been getting into living sustainably, finding ways that I can care for and tend for the earth and just leave it a little brighter than I found it. I want to first start this off by saying that it's very easy to say that in 20 years, the world will end. Given everything that we're bombarded with on a daily basis, all the bad news, all the things that are happening, I think the easy choice would be to throw your hands in the air and say, like, what's the point of even trying, because there's not going to be a world in 20 years. But I've been working really hard on making note of all the good that's out there, and I'm hopeful that in 20 years, things will be very different. I think that we're on the precipice of a really significant and important transformation, and anytime that that happens, you kind of got to get to rock bottom before you realize the change that you need to make and you're ready to make the change that you need to make. In 20 years, I would like to think that we're moving away from the capitalist society. I don't know that everybody's going to be ready for socialism in 20 years. The second change is this kind of awakening where I'm recognizing that people are realizing that we're a part of nature, not apart from it. I do think in 20 years, living sustainably will be the mainstream way to live. It will be convenient. Companies will be producing items that have this full life cycle, moving more towards a circular society. And I think that big corporations will start taking ownership and responsibility for that, because I'm already seeing that. I also think that we're seeing more legislation that is acknowledging the rights of nature. And I think that that is going to continue to trend in 20 years into the future, where we'll have protected lands and we'll be giving land back to the indigenous stewards who really deserved to have that land. It was theirs to begin with, and have proven that they know how to tend and care for it in a way that makes it prosper in the future. I feel like there won't be as much of a focus on us versus them, on our differences. I think all this hardship is going to make us come together and recognize that, wow, your differences make you beautiful, your differences give us new perspective, and all of these thoughts and cultures blend together to make us an even stronger species. And I just think all these things are going to come together, and in 20 years we're going to look back and say, wow, remember that time when we thought the world was going to end and we were ready to give up? And instead, look at us now. We've buckled up, we made the changes that we needed to make, because humans are resilient, humans are powerful, and we really can get the future that we deserve. And I think that's going to be us in 20 years. More than anything, I hope that the hatred that abounds dissolves. I just think we're so polarized in today's world that it's hard to have everyone come to the table and get anything done. And I really hope that in 20 years, we've risen above that, to again recognize that we are in this together. We have a common cause, and that common cause is surviving and then thriving. And I think we can get there, and I'm very hopeful that we will. Well, this is worst case scenario. In 20 years, I'm afraid that everything that they say is happening right now will be true. That we'll have breached the 1 degree Celsius, that parts of the world will be underwater, that there will be food wars, that there will be people living in even more extreme poverty, and that it will just kind of be utter chaos. And my biggest fear is that we will not have the liberties that we have today, and that our political system will devolve into some sort of a one-party system, essentially, like they have in China or Russia. I just fear that we're trending towards that, though I'm still hopeful, and I still believe that we won't get to that point. Oh, this one I thought a lot about before coming here, actually. So, utopia would be absolutely no capitalism, a collective society where it's not mine and yours, it's ours, and everybody is working together towards a common goal. There's no greed, there's no selfishness, and any individualistic tendencies are healthy in the way that, like, I'm proud of being the person that I am, but not to the extent that it hurts entire society because I have a right to be better than everybody, to own more things than everybody. And I envision a world where we're in a circular economy and our government is for the people, by the people, of the people, and they're putting out legislation that shows that they are listening to us and they have our backs, and they're not stripping us of our liberties, but instead doing everything they can to just ensure that living this life, you have everything you need to thrive without stressing. You have access to healthcare, you have access to food, you have affordable housing, you have good schooling, all of these things. And then the structure of, like, our cities is one in which we have cities, but nature is incorporated within everything that we do. So we're living in reciprocity with nature alongside of it, remembering that we come from nature and we're not so far removed from it that we just feel like we have to dominate it. That is utopia. Love abounds, there's plenty for everyone, and it's just